If you're an athlete, you know the greatest motivator of all is the fear of letting your teammates down. After all, a team is only as good as its weakest link. So you owe it to those wearing the same jersey as you to be your best every time you step on the field. That's why there's no vape in team. When you vape, you can expose your lungs to toxic chemicals that can damage your lungs. If you're a step behind, the team's a step behind. Brought to you by The Real Cost and the FDA.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show, and in today's episode, I just want to do this episode more so to motivate video game developers to just, whatever it is that you got ready with your game, put the game out, alright? Just please put the game out, because no, it confuses me where a game gets teased. Like, I remember back then when I was younger and games just came out. Like, you didn't know when they were coming out. Well, they probably did have, like, release dates and all that stuff. But it wasn't like, no, oh, we're going to tease the game for as long as we possibly can. And then at some random point in time, we're just going to release it. No. Release the game ASAP. Because in this day and age, it's like you have it where a lot of games can't really capture an audience. Like, there's some games that I've seen where it's like, yeah, when it very first comes out, oh yeah, it has like millions of people watching videos of it on YouTube. You got thousands of people tuning in to watch streamers play, and then of course you got a bunch of streamers playing the game. You got people posting TikTok videos of the game, all that stuff. And in this day and age, it's like, that's what you have to do. Like, that's where the audience is mainly going to be at. But it ain't going to just be people just, it's going to probably be a very low number of people just playing the game, and they're not a content creator. But for the most part, it's like, if you want your game to remain successful, you have to continue, you have to, for one, release the game, all right? But you have to also continuously keep doing things to the game. But I feel like the first step that you need to do is release the game. There are so many games where I've seen throughout the like years of me really getting into PC gaming, and it's more so with PC gaming. Console gaming, you don't really see that too much. It's like a game comes out. But no, with PC gaming, and especially with Steam, there are so many games that get teased, and it's like they have like this big moment where a trailer comes out, and then at some point in time, like years, I ain't talking like on just maybe a week or a few months late, no, years later, that's when it's like all of a sudden the game decides to release, and then it don't usually even be good. For an example, the day before, that game got teased, back in 2021, 2022? And then they decide to, no, yeah, I think it was 2021. And then they finally released it last year. And look at what happened to that game. Because it's like you hype people up on some stuff. And it's like, fam, we didn't even, and I guarantee and I promise you, if they would have released the game in the state that it was in because I remember with that game, they was like, oh, we're delaying it because we want to switch over the software engine from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5. Fam, who asked for that? That's why your guys' game bombed, because you guys kept delaying this game. You guys kept doing all these last-minute changes and decisions. You made this game into something that it wasn't when we very first saw the game, because I was thinking along the lines it was just going to be like The Division, but just with zombies. No, you decided to turn it into an extraction shooter. So that's why that game wasn't successful, because you changed it into something that we didn't even ask for. And then you added all these. I'm like, yeah, bro, that was a game where I was all like, when it very first came out, it was bound to just pretty much crash and crumble, because it was like the developers was doing stuff to that game that nobody didn't even ask for. You know, and at least with Cyberpunk 2077, I know when that game, because I remember a lot of people were saying like, oh, this game needs to hurry up and release, and when it did, yeah, it was pretty bad when it started off, but at least the developers sat down, worked on the game, continuously. I had to say, Cyberpunk 2077, the developers behind that game, they actually sat down and took the time to work on their craft. There wasn't going to be like, oh, well, we're going to allow the criticism and all the hate to get to us, and we ain't going to do nothing. Now it's like, you look at Cyberpunk, let me just look up the reviews of that game real quick. I might reinstall that game and play it at some point in time. But no, yeah, let me look up the reviews to that game real quick, because it's a good thing to see. It's a really good thing to see with this game. Very positive. All reviews very positive, and that's over 600,000 reviews. And then the recent reviews, 7,000. all very positive. And when you scroll down and look, let's just count up how many negative reviews pop up. Two negative reviews. And it's just, well, one of them is a comedy thing. It ain't even like really a serious review. But the other one, let's just see what this one is. So this was posted February 1st. So the person goes on to say, this is talking on Cyberpunk 2077. So they go on to say, was having an amazing time until patch 211. Now I can't even run the game. Crashes the moment I try to load into a save or even a new game. Try a fresh install, no change. Doesn't matter what graphic settings I use either. Edit. So apparently if you reset dash keybind to default, you can run the game again. But if you turn to your preferred keybind, the next time you run the game it crashes. Review will remain negative until fixed because this is beyond ridiculous. I didn't even hear that. Edit, still no fix in 212. Will change my review if this changes in the future. Yeah, that's crazy. But it's like a lot of people, that's one thing I don't like about Steam is like when you leave a negative review, people get on you for leaving that negative review. And it's like, am I not allowed to have my own personal say-so about this game? It's like there's some issues going on with the game. The stuff needs to be fixed. But overall, though, compared to when that game, Cyberpunk 2077, when it very first came out, oh my god, that game was horrible, bro. It was the most buggiest, glitchiest game of all time. I have never seen a game. And then what was crazy was like, the game released on Xbox One, I did release on PlayStation 4. Well, I'm just going to say Xbox and PC. So Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC. That game released on Xbox One. Oh, it was bad. It was pretty bad. It looked like Minecraft had better graphics than Cyberpunk 2077 when it very first came out. And then on the Xbox Series X, it was like the game was how can I really describe it? I mean, like, for me, it was just really buggy. If I could say anything, visually, it didn't really look all that bad, but the game was relatively buggy and stuff, so that's why I was like, nah, I don't know about this. But then on PC, then it was pretty much the same thing, but it was like the game, I believe, wasn't it at an overwhelmingly negative review? Or even a very negative review, and I'm like, them are the two worst reviews that you could possibly get on Steam. So it's like, when your game is in that current state, what should you overall do? You gotta work on this game. You can't just give up on it at some point in time. And it's like, yeah, because you see that, then it's like, how am I supposed to trust you the next time you come out with a video game? You know, and it's like, and that's the thing with, it's like with developers, they don't understand that. They don't fully understand that, where it's like, fam, you're trying to capture an audience. You can't, the thing is this, all right? Imagine you're at a concert, right? And the main artist, like, let's say there's all these, like, you know, newer artists that come up. They're going to be the ones capturing people's attention, because the thing is this, let's just say all these new artists, they come up, they're opening up for whoever and things, and then when it gets down to the main event, the main artists, they're a no-show, or they're all like, oh, well, we're going to show up when everything is working properly. So then they do finally come out, then it's like, oh, the microphone is, like, they do all these things, they do all these last-minute changes just for the microphone to not work, lights ain't really lighting up all that good. The music is off, the artist's voice is pretty off, the instruments is off, everything is off, and it's like, do you think people are going to sit down and enjoy that show? So I know people are going to probably be all like, well, that's why they're taking their time with it. And it's like, okay, well, instead of taking your time with it, how about have this stuff already fixed and organized, rather than like, oh, let's take a break and then work on this. No, bro, you guys, my thing is this. You need to be working on this game day and night. There should not be no such thing as taking a break, because then that's when I'm like, then the audience is going to be taking a break from supporting your guys' game. Because a game that I have in mind, for an example, because there was this new game that just came out called Body Cam, and I'm thinking to myself, fam, I don't know how many people are working on this other game. I think this other game is called Unrecord or Recorded or something like that. Hold on for a second. Let me look it up real quick. Yeah, Unrecord. So this game, when did this game get announced? Let me look it up real quick, because I think I reacted to a trailer of it. I ain't gonna go based off of the exact date. But, okay, so last year, that's when this, game was announced and things, and my thing is this, you mean to tell me a whole year done passed by, and we hadn't seen nothing else of this game? The last time I had talked on this game was in, April 20th. So my thing is, and then it was like, then there were some other videos that I did talking on this game and things, but it was like the last time that anything was said about this game was in April. No new trailers, no demos, no nothing. Just the one trailer that they released, and then some screenshots on Steam. And I'm supposed to continuously support this game for a whole year, and I don't get nothing in return. I'm supposed to see, and that's why I'm like, I personally feel like it's going to be the same situation with the day before, where this game, who knows, maybe I'm proven wrong, and then the game comes out, and it's one of the best games on Steam. But if not, I personally think it's going to be another day before situation, where this game comes out, and it's going to be buggy, glitchy, all messed up, and the developer is going to be like, oh, we're working on this bug fix. Now we're working. Well, I think it is. I don't even think it's supposed to be. Well, no. Cyberpunk 2077. That was a single player game. So it's like I can't even say because it was a multiplayer. Oh, there was like the last thing that they posted of this game was that we are nearing 1,200,000 wish lists. Fam, it shouldn't even get to that point. Just release the game. Like that's what I'm like. Cause my thing is this. Games are blowing up every single day. Then there's games that's dying off every single day. We need new games. I have been checking Steam almost every day, seeing what new game exists. From indie games to AAA title games to any and every game possible. I have been looking for games left and right. I have not found nothing. And it gets to a point where it's all like, bro, do people even care about video games anymore? You know, it's like you really got to ask that question. Are people just developing video games just to, I guess, like, oh, let's just develop a video game just because? But they're not really like a passionate gamer. They're not really a passionate video game developer. And I know people are going to be calling me out for saying this, but at the same time, it's like, fam, this is how I feel. You can't just have it where it trips me out how there's like developers out there where it's like they can release a game every year. Game might not be good, but they can release a game every year. Some things, and I feel like to the games that be getting released every year, unless it's something like Call of Duty where they do actually like the story, multiplayer, they might somewhat change. The main thing that they are focused on is Warzone, though. Hopefully, with this next Call of Duty, they are focused on the game and not just Warzone. Because if that's the case, then I'm all like, bruh, that's probably why they having it where Call of Duty is going to be coming out on the Xbox Game Pass. Because they're all like, we ain't making that money like how we were when we were releasing Call of Duty games before Warzone. I'm like, yeah, bro, because it's like you guys got to focus on the game. You can't just focus on the main money maker of the game and then think that that's going to make it successful. No, you got to focus on all aspects of the game. So yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm all like, it really confuses me where. And then there's games out there where they just kind of like do a surprise release. Like the one game that released earlier this year, Pal World. In my opinion, that's probably, I hadn't played that game in some months, but in my opinion, that's probably the best game that came out this year. Because it's a game where it's like they're still doing updates. I follow these guys on Twitter. They still do updates. They're adding new stuff to the game. I think they are going to be expanding the map at some point in time, I believe, but here it was, they managed to capture, with probably little to no promotion, they managed to capture millions of people's attention. To the point where it was like, fam, I don't even really be playing games like that, but it captured my attention. It captured my attention to the point where I'm like, fam, I gotta play more. I gotta play this game. I was playing that game on an everyday basis at one point in time. To the point where I was like, I had to force myself to stop playing that game, but I might get back into playing that game because really, there ain't no other games that's out. There ain't no new other games that's out. There isn't like nothing that's capturing my attention. You got where games come out, the developers only want to put out half of a video game, but expecting us to give it a full review or to have it give it a full support or something. And I'm like, no, bruh. I can't do that no more. I can't do it no more where it's like you're putting out half of a game or you're promoting the game left and right. You're not doing nothing with it, but I'm supposed to continuously keep supporting it. Meanwhile, that there's these games that's out where the developers are actively doing stuff to their game every single day. And they don't get no love, they don't get no attention, and it really trips me out where it's like there's games where it's like they don't do nothing to the game. They're all like, oh, let's just go and just do some old random stuff that nobody didn't ask for, and people are just gonna support it. I'm telling you right now. Excuse me, but yeah, I'm saying like it's one of those things where I personally think like where gaming is at right now. It's not good. It's not good. I've talked on this numerous times before. I've said this numerous times before. Where gaming is at right now, it is not good. Where it's like you got games that's being announced, but they're never coming out. You got games where they do come out, but only half of it is being put out. And then at some point in time, we're going to get half of it later. We can't just get the good old-fashioned games. Like, it's crazy because it's like I've been playing a lot of different retro games, and I'm like, fam, you had people back then that with the equipment that they had to do video game development, they was putting out full games. Like, hear me out on this. Developers back like 20 something years ago was putting out full games, bruh. Full games with the, like, in my opinion, it had to have been like worse equipment. But my thing is this. If it was like easy equipment to where, yeah, it was easy to put out full games back then I'm like, okay, why not just do that now? If the like gear or whatever that you're using to, or the equipment, or not equipment, but programs that you're using to develop video games is too hard, why not just go back to some old stuff or develop some old stuff, programs so you can develop games like how they were back then? But it's like, I just don't get where it's like, it could be a game, and then it's like, if the stuff back then was hard, and then the programs back then were hard to use to develop games, and they're easy now, then you would think that, like, 100 video games by developers would be getting put out every single day. Every single day. And I'm like, man, it really trips me out with video game development. I'm like, I don't know what you guys got going on, but I'm like, this ain't right, bro. This ain't right at all. So hopefully at some point in time things change, but if not, then yeah, bro. It's gonna be a point in time where people they like not so much as start abandoning video games, but I feel like that there's gonna be developers where they notice that people are not. It's just gonna be flat out hate towards their games, because it's like you're not doing nothing with it. So it's like I'm saying, I'm not trying to have it where I'm supporting the game and you guys ain't doing nothing with it. So I'd rather support a game where they are actually doing something with their game. So. But anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe if you're viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on podcast streaming service. Thank you guys, and peace.